Hi everybody, welcome back to the YouTube. And this is I haven't done any videos for a while, but I've decided to start putting a bit more content up for my subscribers, because like they're very nice and they've clicked on those little buttons which makes my channel grow. So today is the first of a few eventually reviews of pieces of equipment for amateur radio which you should avoid at all costs. Unbelievably bad bits of equipment. Some of the things I'm going to review in other videos are almost laughable, but this one that I'm doing today, where's the thingammy? There we go. It's called a JETFON JF60 60 amp power supply. 60 amp power supply, very useful bit of kit, you'd think, like, you know, lots of amperage there. You can plug all kinds of bits of equipment on it, and you know, it's got good capacity for load. However, we need to take a closer look at this thing, so we will go here and we will go get rid of that for a minute. Right, so there it is. There's your gizmo, and that's the JETFON JF60 60 amp DC power supply, and it has here your switch. The main power switch is on the back, right? And it takes a while to actually power down as well, which is really odd. But anyway, you've got a switch here which allows you to select to fixed 13.8 volts, or you can switch it down to 5 to 15 adjustable volts with your two main terminals on there. You've got a voltage adjustment knob here, 5 to 15, and a 0 to 60, I guess, current limiting knob here for adjustment. You've also got underneath a cigarette lighter socket, which is at whatever you're setting these at, I guess, at 10 amps maximum. I think it's 13.8 volts fixed at 10 amps maximum. And over here you've got a very useful USB 5 volts at 2 amps socket for whatever you want to plug into that. Marvellous, you think. Price, average price with these things, I have seen them for £135 and as much as £180, so averaging about 160, something like that. Not too bad, you'd think, for a 60 amp power supply. Well, you'd be wrong, because let's have a look inside this thing. And here we go. So this is the main board underneath. This is how it came supplied from the factory, more or less. It had to be put in for repairs, well, you know, to see what, because there was problems with it, so, you know, it went in for a repair, and when it was opened up, this is what we found. And I mean, like, the soldering jumps straight out at you. I mean, it's shocking is the word when it comes to me. Look at this, blobs of solder all over the place, broken bits, dry joints. Well, I mean, what can you say? It looks like it's been reworked by a complete amateur, but this is the way they look. This is what you get. So let's have a closer look. And I mean, look at that joint there. That's actually made intermittent contact with this, like, you know, probably high current going through there, and it's actually burned the board. So, like, you know, I mean, that's a quality connection, that is, isn't it? So then we'll move along, and then what is that? I mean, what is that? I mean, this, that's a big tag of some kind, something big coming through the board, massive blob of solder. Looks like there's another one here, but what is this? I mean, what was that even supposed to be connected to? Why is it there? But anyway, it is. And like, look at this thing up here, and this, what looks like, it looks like solder splatter, could be flux, don't know. It's all over the place. Looks like somebody spilt a yogurt over it. Anyway, here's some more delightful terminations. Wires come through, splat of solder on that. We'll leave a little bit on there, just, well, you never know, might come in useful. Yeah, it actually comes like this. It comes like this. Look at that. I mean, yeah, it looks like a crab has been caught in solder. A mini crab. It might be, you never know. So anyway, there's some more delightful works, like, you know. It's shocking. Shocking, shocking, shocking. Anyway, that's not the only problem. This is a spectrum analyzer which has got a little antenna on it, a little extendable antenna on it, just to show ambient background noise in the Radio Shack. So pretty flat, a couple of tiny little spikes. Center frequency on this is 17 megs, and down that end you've got 1 meg, and up here it's 33. So 32 megahertz span, 17 in the middle. So I guess I'd say this is somewhere around 10 megahertz. There's a spike, probably picking up maybe the reference oscillator in the shack, like, you know, the GPS reference, whacking out a 10 megahertz spike. So that could be what that is. Another one up here about 29 megahertz, maybe 30 megahertz. Not sure what's causing that, but nothing of great significance. But that one there can be explained, because there is a reference oscillator clagging out a 10 meg signal right behind this spectrum analyzer. So anyway, let's move on. We switch on the power supply and look what happens. We get a rise all along that entire spectrum, and this is just when the thing's not even on load. So there's the difference. Power supply off, power supply on. Lots of noise, really spiking up this end here. So then a dump current of 13 amps was chucked on it, because there's 12.89. It's reading 13.2 on the power supply, so there is a difference. This thing is well calibrated, so it shows that this thing's not. But that's at 15.2 volts, 13.2 amps draw, and look at that. I mean, just look at that. We have got huge spikes of EM noise all along the entire HF band. We're looking at what? So 10, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. I don't know. I'm trying to read this thing. It doesn't matter anyway. Look. So you've got 17 megahertz right in the middle there. Clonk. So, you know, there's a 20 meter band. There's a 17 meter band. That's 17, yeah. And then look all the way up here, all the way up. This massive spike somewhere around 30 megahertz. Loads of noise around here. Basically, it makes the HF spectrum appallingly unusable with all that amount of noise. If you're powering an HF transceiver off of this, you're going to hear nothing very good. It's just going to be S7, S8 of noise probably. Not very acceptable, is it? So the manufacturers were contacted about this, and here's their explanation. You can just have a look at that. Hold on, let's just, if I move that over a bit, there we go. You read that. The PSU doesn't have any filter in HF, and that is why it can cause some interferences. It is a cheap PSU that can be used for basic needs, but you can't expect too much. For HF use, it's better to go with an Alinco or a Diamond PSU. Can't say I've ever seen an Alinco or a Diamond PSU, but that's neither here nor there. Point is, what we have done with those PSUs is to add a sensor so the fan begins only when it hits a high temperature. But much more of that we cannot do. Anyway, don't worry about the standards, it's CE standard, because it was asked, like, you know, how can this thing conform to British standard with the amount of EM noise it creates? And their answer was, don't worry about that, because it's got the CE stamp on it. Yeah, well that just goes to show. Well, it says it's got the CE stamp on it, and it has got, hang on, let's just come back to my camera there. If you look here, where's the camera? There. There. It has got CE on there. But if we have another looky, I mean, no, you don't normally just splat CE, but look, yeah, on every page it's got CE on it. Look, every page. So what are they trying to say something here? Anyway, it's a load of old cobblers. This thing should not have been approved. It is at best a battery charger, but whatever you do, do not buy one of these to power your HF. Certainly not HF. We haven't checked it above 33 megs, but I assume that it's probably making equal amounts of noise at that level as well. So your funeral if you buy one, but I wouldn't. And forewarned is forearmed in my opinion. I can show you the prices these things go for. Here's one here. Hold on, let's just go back to there and there, and there we go. So there's somebody selling one here for £161.33p. That's the same one, and that's rather annoying. Alright, let's go back here. JETFON. How do I get out of this? No idea. But anyway, £161 for a noise box. Not good, huh? So it looks the part, and it's solid, but yeah, inside is a nightmare, and it causes a nightmare outside. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed my little review from M0NMC at the Chaos Shack, the guy who always looks up all the time because my camera's down here, but to get all the things done right and changing screens, I'll keep looking up there. So I look down, I'm looking up and looking down, looking up. But I hope you enjoyed the review. There will be more when I find more rubbish on the market that you should avoid. So if you like the video, click that subscribe button, click like on the video, and if you really would like to, click on the notifications too, because I guarantee there will be more videos coming. Anyway, enough rambling from me. This is M0NMC saying ta-ta from the Chaos Shack. Take it easy, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye for now.